Hey guys, this is the new re-released Savage Flux XS, and if you've never experienced one of these before, you're in for a treat because this is something unlike anything else in the hobby. This is a 1/12 scale brushless monster truck. It's bigger than all the little Chinese trucks, it's smaller than your standard 1/10 vehicles, and this thing is ready to do 65 miles an hour. Now stick around because we're going to check and see if it will do 65 miles an hour on 3S. Before we take a closer look at this, let's see what you get with it. First we have the new updated TF50 transmitter. This is the updated version of the TF40 transmitter, and this is the first time I've taken a look at it. This transmitter looks really awesome, takes 4 AA batteries, has all the settings and adjustments that you'll need right here. Personally though, I don't think it feels quite as good as the TF40. Grabbing the TF40 kind of feels like going home, but grabbing the TF50 kind of feels like you didn't quite pay enough for your hotel room. Everything looks good, but in my hand at least, it just doesn't fit that well. That being said, I did have my girlfriend check this, and with her smaller hands, she thought this one felt better. So your opinion on that's really going to depend on your hand size. We get some stickers with it. We get a few spare bits and pieces and a couple little tools, warranty information, some advertising, and then we get this beautiful Savage Flux XS manual. This thing's really nice, just like all of HPI's manuals. It's got a lot of really nice pictures in it, very complete. Definitely take a look at this manual before you get started, especially if you're new in the hobby. All right, let's take a closer look at this truck. Like I said, this is a 1/12 scale monster truck, and this might be a lot smaller than you think it is. Here it is next to the MT10 from Team Associated, and here it is next to the V2 4S Outcast. This little guy is tiny, but it packs a huge punch. Let's take a look under the hood. This is the same body they had before, but it's an all-new paint scheme, and I think it looks really slick. The Lexan's pretty thick for as small of a body as it is, and I think with a little bit of reinforcement, this is going to hold up just fine. Taking a look at this truck, we've got a 10th scale brushless system in it, the TVP twin vertical plate chassis setup from the full-size one, big bore, threaded body, all plastic shocks, a nice, beefy, easy to access battery tray. This thing will hold a standard 5200 milliamp hour 2S battery or a 2S size 3S battery. It's bigger than it looks. Got some decent foam filled tires here. Now you guys might not know this, but my first couple videos on this channel were actually of a Flux XS. I had one about 6 years ago, so this thing holds a special place in my heart. And I remember this thing being a ton of fun. Here in just a minute, we're gonna see how fast it is, then we're gonna take it out and bash it and see just how fun and durable this thing is. Now taking a look at the bottom, we've got a nice flat chassis, skid plates front and rear that lead into front and rear bumpers, some nice thick arms. This drivetrain is all metal throughout. It has front and rear differentials with a slipper clutch. The slipper clutch is something that used to be a problem. It'll be interesting to see if it still is a problem. The differentials are really easy to get to. The internals can be a challenge. You gotta take a lot of this truck apart to get to things like the servo and the transmission. So ease of working on it is kind of a mixed bag. All right guys, that's the overview of the truck. Let's get some batteries in this thing, take it out, see how fast it is, bash it and crash it, see if this thing's gonna be any fun. All right, let's see what this little thing can do on 3S power. Whoa, that's quick. All right, let's bring it back. Man, that thing is quick and it's stable too. Full throttle. Whoa! All right, let's give her one more shot and then we'll see what we got. "55 miles an hour, that is not too bad. Alright guys, Savage Flux XS. Had a few packs through this thing now. What do I think about it? Out of the box, it definitely needs a few upgrades. Now, I'm going to be doing those upgrades, so if you're interested in seeing another video about that, make sure you like this video, subscribe, and leave me a comment letting me know you want to see these upgrades. But other than needing a few things, I think this is an awesome little truck. It's extremely fast on 3S. This is the perfect truck if you want something to take to the park with you, something you can just throw in the back of your car, drive around, go camping with. No one's gonna think anything about it. It looks like a toy, it's nice and quiet, but it is a ton of fun. The weak spots that I found on it are these plastic tie rod ends like to pop out of the steering linkage when you have a hard landing. They just pop right back in, so that's not a big deal. And then the other primary thing I found is that these shock rod ends tend to break off. They're really thin and flimsy. You do get some extra ones in the kit, but those are gonna need to be upgraded. Fortunately, this platform has been around for quite some time, and most of these things have already been addressed. You can get RPM rod ends, you can upgrade the shocks themselves. These tires are a love-hate thing. They get a decent amount of grip on concrete, but they don't really get much grip on any other surface, and that can be a good or a bad thing. I like it. I like sliding around, doing donuts, and just doing crazy things. If you want to go in a straight line, though, these can be a bit of a challenge. Should you pick one of these things up? Well, right now, these things are $325 on Hobby Recreation Parts, and you get a coupon which brings it down under $300. I think for less than $300, this is an awesome little car. Yeah, you're gonna need to do a few upgrades, but it fills a niche between those really tiny cars that you can barely drive anywhere and the larger 10th scale, 8th scale cars that can be intimidating if you drive them around other people. And you can get away with driving this thing places that you wouldn't be able to drive other cars because this thing still looks like a toy and people just look at it as a toy truck instead of a big, loud RC car. That's it for this one. Pick one of these things up. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.